But first of all, I would like us all to extend a very warm Universalist Unitarian welcome to our guest speaker this morning, Brajarani Dasi. Brajarani Dasi first met the monks of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness when she was 7 years old. Ever since then, she's been inspired to pursue the science of self-realization. After college, she joined the temple ashram monastery at Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, which was donated by one of the Beatles, George Harrison, my favorite. George had all the money and fame in the world, but realized that something was truly missing, and hence was seeking extensively. George found his peace and answers after meeting His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who lived from 1896 until 1977. He was widely regarded as the foremost Vedic scholar, translator, and teacher of the modern era. Brajarani here spent 30 years at that temple, actively sharing the essence of ancient Vedic teachings to the thousands of weekly guests at the temple. She also has over a decade of training as a spiritually based counselor. She has supported individuals and facilitated workshops and seminars on related topics in various places throughout the world. So we're very fortunate to have Brajarani here with us this morning. And now we're going to enter in a special time of meditation, and we're going to have this facilitated by our very own Brajarani Dasi.
Thank you very much. So I'll be chanting a Sanskrit mantra. It's very powerful, even if you don't understand it. It's a vibration that's from the spiritual realm. So just absorb it in. It's basically a prayer of a connection with the Lord, God, our source. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I wanted to thank Ellen and everyone here for inviting me. And I'm going to be speaking about Vedic teachings. Anyone here heard about the Vedas before? A couple of people, yeah. Heard of the Bhagavad Gita? Yes. No? Yes, yes, wonderful. So, Vedic teachings are one of the most ageless, timeless wisdom. Vedas basically means knowledge. Everything comes from that. All knowledge comes from that. So I think our friend here, I met a lady this morning and she was saying, oh, I looked up a little bit, Google up Vedas, and it was just too overwhelming. And I said, yes, because it's the source of all information. But I'm just going to give you, with the little time we have today, just the essence of what the Vedas is, or the ultimate, because all sorts of knowledge like astronomy, astrology, and connection with God and everything comes from that. And the Vedas basically, it's what we call the science of self-realization. It does not matter what faith you are, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, black, white, young, old. It's basically a science that's applicable to everyone, to every living entity. We are all as spirit souls, of sparks of God, and the teachings are applicable to everyone. So, it's important where we get our source of knowledge from. So, I'm going to do a little PowerPoint presentation here. If we can, look at that. So, this is the core teaching. So, I'll walk through to you. The slide's not working. Can we have the next slide? Looks like.
Use the mouse. There you go. Just like you do.
Well, all right, my husband's my IT man. So here we can appreciate the beautiful qualities of God's, what we call inferior nature, in the forms of the material creation. So the material creation is also such beautiful things, but that's considered the inferior nature. We have what we call the spiritual realm, which is considered the superior nature. So even in this inferior nature, we see so many beautiful things. So you can imagine what it's like in the spiritual nature. But the core Vedic scriptures remind us the patina of this world. There is the dark, ugly reality as well. And what is that? It says from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, there are all places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. Because no one escapes that. So what exactly are those miseries that the Bhagavad Gita is drawing our attention to? He says, if you realize that Lord Buddha was an incarnation of Lord Krishna, Krishna is a name of God. You say we can call God in many names, Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, whatever. The word Krishna means the all-attractive person. So he came down about 5,000 years ago to Earth planet in a place called India. But Buddha was actually an incarnation of Krishna. And his mission was to teach non-violence, mercy, compassion, and to remind everyone of the cycle of life's miseries, referred to as samsara. Heard that word of samsara? It means cycle, birth, death, old age. So what's the samsara? Birth, we all take birth. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what country you are, old or young, we all go through that birth. Disease, and then we have old age, and then we have death, and no one escapes that. We all have to go through that. So we have a great sage in the Vedic times named Vedavyas, who is supposed to be an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He says the living entity is absorbed in the body consisting of physical elements, the 5 knowledge senses and 5 action senses, along with the mind. The living entity suffers 3 kinds of tribulations: adibautic, adidaivic, and adiatmic. These are 3 Sanskrit terms. Sanskrit is considered the language of the gods. It's a very ancient language. So therefore, this body, is a place of misery. So what are these adibautic, adiatmic, and adidaivic? Adibautic are basically miseries caused by other living entities. All of us have at some point in life, been caused distress due to some other living entity. And that's not necessarily just humans. A little virus like the coronavirus is a living entity. It caused havoc in our lives, right? So we all go through that. Doesn't matter what religion you are, what age you are, what color you are, we all face that. Next one is adidaivic. Adidaivic means natural disasters. So what kind of natural disasters that we all have experiences of? California, fires, floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, right? So all these natural disasters, none of us can, say, even the very advanced country like America, the best they can do when something's happening is make an announcement, get the hell out of here. That's about it, right? But the final one is adhyatmic miseries. That's miseries like distress to mind and body, right? We all go through like physical pains and mental pains, right? Mentally, stress. So this is, of course, a part of life we prefer not to dwell on, but it is the reality. But the good news is we have answers, the Vedas have an answer, a solution to get beyond all this. And you might be wondering, how can we get beyond? How can we transcend birth, death, old age, disease? Yes, we can, and we can live in what we call the spiritual realm. So Lord Buddha, he fasted under the Bodhi tree nearly to death in search for how to alleviate the suffering aspects of life, right? So he was meditating, he's naturally compassionate. He wants to see everyone happy. We all want to be happy, right? Because that's our nature. The nature of our soul, which is a spark of God, is to be happy. It's Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That means it's happy. It's always meant to be joyful. It's meant to be eternal. It's not meant to die. And it's meant to have full of knowledge. So each of us, the soul within us, by nature has this beautiful, spiritual, divine qualities. And that's why death is uncomfortable for us. Old age, disease, and all these things are not so comfortable because by nature the soul doesn't go through any of this. Spirit is beyond all this suffering, right? So the Vedic rishis, knew that due to 4 human flaws, it's impossible to understand everything by one's effort. So what are the 4 human flaws? We have imperfect senses, right? Sometimes we can't see what's happening at the back there, or we can't smell everything. We have a propensity to cheat. Human beings like to cheat to what is benefiting for themselves. We'll say things or portray things in a way that's beneficial to us. And then we are subject to illusions, right? We may mistake a rope to be a snake, right? That's all possible. And then we make mistakes, right? Anyone here said they've never made a mistake before? No, we've all made mistakes, right? Right. So we all have these flaws. So how do we depend on that? So we have to get our answers because we have these flaws. We are flawed. We can't have all the answers just within us, but we get the answers from a flawless source or the spiritual essence. Therefore, the sages concluded it's impossible to get anything based on our own limited, feeble human efforts. Then philosophically, if we are to understand anything correctly, that knowledge must come from a reliable source beyond the limitations of our own feeble efforts. Now let us consider the resources that we have available to us. The Christians have the Bible, the Jews have Torah, Islam has the Quran, the Buddhists the Dharmapad, etc., Taoism, and the Hinduism has the Upanishads, etc. So according to the Bhagavad Gita, which is what's called, it's translated to Song of God, when Krishna, our God, came down 5,000 years ago, we say he comes every now and then, or he sends his messengers, like Jesus Christ as a prophet, to help people reconnect with our true self and to find, to transcend the miseries. So God comes every time to help us, to understand what our real purpose of life is. Who am I? What am I doing in this world? Where do I go to after death? What is my purpose? What is my goal? Right? The million-dollar question. So according to the Vedas, the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, sang 700 perfectly composed Sanskrit verses of Bhagavad Gita, and some to the denizen of the heavens 120 million years ago. So you can trace back these Vedas. It goes from timeless. It's the source of knowledge is timeless and is very reliable. I will have after this table out there with the book Bhagavad Gita and different for anybody who would like to have them for a donation. So what makes the Gita so extraordinary is that over 1 billion people believe that God directly sang it himself to help us understand the following 5 basic truths. Okay, so what are the 5 basic truths? Who is God? What are God's characteristics and how can he be understood? So sometimes people have a very vague idea of God. So what constitutes life? What distinguishes man from animal? How many species are there? Do you know there are 8,400,000 species of life? 400,000 types of humans. And humans are considered special and rare in the sense that we have the opportunity to ask deeper questions about life. Who am I? What am I doing in this world? What's my purpose? What's my goal? The dogs, cats, animals, they don't ask questions like that. They don't have that capacity. So it's really important that we take full advantage of our lives as humans to get these, to inquire deeper into these, what we call signs of self-realization. There's a difference between matter and spirit. That's another topic in the Gita. And then, how does time affect things? How does time affect our perception? When was the universe created? What constitutes good and bad behavior? Albert Einstein, he says, when I read the Bhagavad Gita, I asked myself, he says, everything else appeared to be superfluous. So we all know Albert Einstein. So this book, the Gita, is read by many notable figures. We owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. So that was his comments about the Vedas. And then Mahatma Gandhi, I guess we all know, he has always been, he says, the Gita has always been the source of my comfort. Whenever I was unable to perceive a silver lining on the horizon, I opened the Gita and I found a verse that gave man new hope. So much hope in the Gita. And then there is this equal rights leader who was willing to give up his own life for what he knew was right. Does anyone know who that is? He spent 27 years behind the bars before anyone listened to him. He was in jail for 27 years. Who? That's correct. To keep from going insane, he studied the Bhagavad Gita when he was in prison. He memorized large portions of the text and could quote it on demand. And that is Nelson Mandela. So he says, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, Bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So to have a connection with God, you need to have devotion. And for God to reveal himself to us, we need to have a relationship, right? Just like I know all of you, I can come up to you and hit you in your head and say, tell me more about yourself. And you'll say, go away, right? But if I develop a nice relationship with you, I serve you, I care for you, you'll naturally reveal more of yourself to us. So in the same way, when we do what we call devotional service, serving the Lord, then he will reveal himself to us. And one way to do that, you heard me chant a mantra in the beginning. In this troubled age, God has made it very easy just to what we call the mantra chanting or sacred sound vibration, calling out of Lord's names like we do the mantra I did. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That connects us, that sound vibration connects us to God. So it's very simple, it's not difficult. So when you call out to God, he immediately present on the tip of your tongue. The beauty of this, it does not matter which name you choose. There's only one God, just like there's only one sun. Some of us call it sun. In France, they call it soleil. In India, they call it Surya. But we're talking of the same sun. So just like that, there's only one God. And that's what we appreciate about your church, how you're so welcoming and inclusive like that. So yeah, we said Allah for the Islam, Krishna for the Hindus, and all these different names for different people. And although the Vedic tradition uses a different language that expresses the Christian's idea of Trinity, it supports the idea of God is realized in different ways. Some may think Hindu Trinity is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, but in fact, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are actually expansions of the Supreme Lord, but they each have their own unique personality. Therefore, they do not represent the three different aspects of the Supreme Lord. However, the three aspects of the Supreme Truth, some people see God as Brahman, which is an all-pervasive cosmic energy. And some people see God as Paramatma, which is the universal super soul within the heart of each and every one of us. And then there's God in the personal form. As a person, you can actually have a loving relationship with this supreme person. And there's a lot of information about that in our books. So the Vedas teach that human life is for restoring one's lost relationship with God and not to be deluded by temporary material stimulations. To protect oneself from the trap, one must abstain from, we said, intoxications, from illicit sexual connections, from reckless gambling, and animal eating, because that will help us be kind and merciful. So the first lesson in Bhagavad Gita is, you are not this body. You are this, because if you are the body, why when we see a dead body, we get rid of it? The body's still there. Right? But what's gone? What's left the body that makes it useless? It's the? Anyone? The soul, right? The spirit soul. So when the spirit soul leaves the body is useless, we get rid of it. So who are we really? We are the spirit soul, not just the body. So we have the bird in the cage story, you know, we got to take care of the cage, but you forget about the bird inside. The bird will starve and die. Just like that, most of us tend to take time to just take care of our body, and we forget about nurturing our soul. So it's beautiful that you all come here and you nurture your soul in a spiritual way. So it is entangling to think that I'm a man, I'm small, I'm a doctor, I'm African, I'm American Indian, I'm a peasant, I'm a superhero, I'm a lost soul, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Buddhist, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim, I'm Sikh, I'm American Indian, I'm Christian, I'm Zoroastrian. No, we are this beautiful spiritual sparks, part and parcel of God. These other things are just temporary. They are all temporary, but our true eternal self is the spiritual spark. So like you see a big bonfire, and sometimes you see little sparks come out of that. Now those sparks, if they're out of the big fire for a long time, they get extinguished. But if the sparks of fire go back and join part of the big fire, it becomes part of the big fire and it never gets extinguished. So just like that, we are small sparks of God, right? Part and parcels of Him. Same in quality, but not in quantity. Because we can't do what God can do. He's unlimited. But we are small sparks of Him. And the best way for us is to reunite, to reconnect with our source, who we really are. And that's the real meaning and purpose of human life. So thank you very much. I hope I haven't gone over my time limit. But if you have more information, we'll be at the book table there. If you want any more questions, answers, we also have little charts like that that explain, will be out there that you can take for free, and some books you can give donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brajarani. That was very, very interesting.